Star Wars The Acolyte is 5 episodes into its season and has been met with criticisms and backlash over boring characters.
No, I used it. May is the Jedi's problem now. I can't.
Weak dialogue.
I sense things again in a way that gives me the courage to face her.
And a series of events that just makes no sense. But is all lost for this contrived show that focuses on showing and not telling? No! Here are 3 plot points the show must address to recover and stick the landing, as if that's possible at this point. Welcome, viewers. I am the real-life fake wizard. If this video brings you any value at all, I would invite you to subscribe to this new channel, where we are posting videos nearly every day. As we get into this list, I just want to say I'm a Star Wars fan. I wanted to like this show. I wanted to love this show. So I'm coming at this from the perspective of wanting to see it recover from its gaffes, goofs, and ball droppings.
Yes, yes.
Number 1, the Jedi being the real villains. If Master Soul and his posse committed some kind of atrocity that led to the death of the witches, it is going to stamp a brand of wickedness onto the Jedi that will not go away, and it also shouldn't be there. I believe that would be the final nail in the coffin for Star Wars as we know it, and the fans that are already borderline apathetic will not come back anymore. The Force is a binary light and dark side. If these Jedi are operating under the bounds of the light side and commit atrocities to the point of being so guilty that one of them takes their own life, the whole binary concept of light and dark goes completely out the window. It also renders the progression of all of the heroes throughout all of the movies, including the sequel trilogy, absolutely meaningless. Because there's no point to being a hero now. There is no point in pursuing the light side. You've given an excuse to giving in to the dark side. In fact, there are no sides at all. It's just a big gray matter of pulling on threads for hedonistic power and pleasure, self-gratification and self-importance. That's not what the Jedi are supposed to be. So how do they resolve this late in the game? Misdirection. Have it be a complete misunderstanding. Something that could have been prevented, that should have been prevented, but they failed their mission. They cannot be the aggressors in the conflict with the witches. If they are the ones that murdered the witches, then they will be rendered the villains of the show. Which means everyone is a villain, because then on the other side, you've got May and Smilo Ren running around assassinating people. So if they're over there slaughtering people, and the Jedi are over here slaughtering people, it's just a big ball of nothing. The sacrifice to be a hero, to be heroic in Star Wars will be meaningless, because the Jedi and the Sith are just the same in the end. They're both just as corrupt as each other. And that's not what either of them is supposed to represent. Plot point 2, the witches' dark side. Introducing the communist space witches, on one hand, is okay. We've seen other groups in Star Wars harness the Force in different ways and give it different names. However, most of that is considered tapping into the dark side. The witches of Dathomir are not drawn by the light side of the Force. They are very much using dark magic. In episode 3, they call the Force by a new name, the Thread. There's not really a big problem with that. The name itself is inconsequential. We know it's the Force. The Thread is just a cultural name the witches give it. However, the witches need to be identified specifically as using the dark side of the Force. They need to be villainous. And they need to be the aggressors against the Jedi for the Star Wars continuity to remain whole. We see Mother Anastasia use powers that reflect the dark side to subdue Torben. Mother Coral makes reference that the Jedi would be unhappy if they learned the truth about how Anastasia created the twins.
What happens if the Jedi discover how you created them?
Which implies that it is dark side powers in nature. Which leads to another obvious canonized plot point that needs to be discussed. Darth Plagueis and Palpatine were experimenting with the Force to try and create life. They failed. Anakin Skywalker was created by the Force in response to the abomination magics they were summoning. For all of that plot to remain whole, keep its value, and continue the continuity of Star Wars, the witches must be villainous by the end of the season. They need to be identified as dark side users. Number 3, the Sith backstory. I like Chimera a lot. Manny Jacinto's acting is standout, and he's the only character that I care to learn anything else about. And so I'm intrigued to know about his backstory. How does it tie into the story of the twins? Is he truly the master, or is there another master above him? What is his direct backstory, and what made him into a Sith? I do not expect this show, with all its incompetencies, to answer any of these questions, especially in only 3 more episodes. I very much expect there to be a comic book series, or toy line you would need to buy to get the full story. But I will say there's one thing that they must answer, and that is the connection between May and Chimere. That connection should be absolute. How did these 2 characters come to know each other as Master and Acolyte? There must be an absolute reason why he picked May to be his apprentice. It cannot be a random happenstance that brought them together. There needs to be a specific, resolute reason to give everything that they've done together meaning. I can't begin to speculate on what that answer is going to be because I have such little faith in the show to actually deliver. Whatever they do come up with needs to be convincing. Viewers, I want to thank you for joining me here for this pondering of Star Wars: The Acolyte. Are you enjoying this show, or are you enjoying all the YouTube and social media content about it? I know I sure am. Let me know in the comments below what you think of The Acolyte. My friends, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new here. If you didn't like anything I had to say, I thank you for watching for this long. And until next time, friends, create, innovate, inspire. May the thread of destiny be with you. And for the love of God, cancel Disney+.